I was listening to the story about, it was a story of a family in Washington, and the little boy called the Bigfoot the Cowboy Man. And he had, apparently it had made an effort to steal this kid. And it hit me. My children were in that playpen behind me with nothing but a mosquito net over them. It could have crept up behind me and taken both of my children, and I wouldn't have known.
Father just got like a Mustang or something from Wyoming, okay? He had it out in the corral because he couldn't put it in the barn in the stalls with the other horses. It would kick and made all the other horses nervous. Had a Seminole Indian working the horse, trying to break it every day. So they had it out in the corral. This skunk ape snuck up behind this horse and grabbed it on its hind quarters. This particular horse kicks out, jumps over the corral, runs into the pasture, to get away. At this point, the rancher's out there just blasted away with the dirty. Skunk ape runs into the swamp.
I went up there one day after that, or 2 days after that. I went up there and sat in the silence up there, and I'm telling you, man, it was free. It was crazy. There was a crazy vibe up there still. I did what I could to kind of get things under control, but I told her, I said, you need to get off this property. I feel like no matter how strong you are, it's almost like standing in the ocean. You can't stand still without moving your feet. You're going to get knocked over eventually, no matter how strong, whatever. You can't withstand a barrage of weird spiritual energy.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Paranormal Odyssey. I'm your host, Wayne, joined as always by my partner in crime, Miss Tiffany. How you doing today, ma'am?
Fantabulous, as always. As I read the news today, and the whole entire world's falling apart, but here we all fall together, so it's fine.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit before coming on, as we always do, and the tragic thing that happened with the boat, and the barge, and the bridge, and all that today. And we were, not trying to make light of it or anything, but we were talking. I wonder how many people are going to claim they saw the Mothman.
Yep, it's coming. I'm waiting for it.
It is. I'm sure it will.
That's going to be the next TikTok video.
Yeah, that was tragic though, and I hate to hear it. All the conspiracy theorists, including yourself, are working overtime, I'm sure.
It did look on purpose. I'm just gonna put it out. It really did. I'll send you the video I saw. It really does look like it was on purpose.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the motive would be. But then you got all that stuff happening with P. Diddy and all this. Oh my gosh, he's in so much trouble.
I saw y'all talking about that the other night in the Discord thing, and I still don't know what happened with P. Diddy.
Oh my gosh, it stems back years and years and years. I mean, like all the way back from when Usher was 13 and just got into the industry, because he was a victim of it when he came into it.
Victim of what?
All kinds of bad, lewd things we probably shouldn't talk about on this show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I kind of thought that, but yeah, we'll talk about it off air. We don't need anybody complaining about all that.
Because please don't cancel us.
Real quick before we pay the bills, let me mention the poll question real quick. Tonight we will be talking about a couple more missing persons cases. We were set to talk about some UFO stuff. I'm sorry if that's what you were here to, if that's what you were expecting, but we had another unforeseen issue arise, and we didn't want to cancel. So this is what we're going to do. We've been working on this, a couple of things, so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So in the spirit of that, poll question is, should outside services or agencies be allowed to assist law enforcement in searching for missing persons? And overwhelmingly, we've had 10 votes so far. 100% say yes, and I agree with you.
Yep. Extra feet. Always works.
Yeah. All right, let's pay some bills.
Okay.
If you are new to the show tonight, it's your first time here, you have not done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. We would greatly, greatly appreciate that. We continue to head in the right direction, but we are not there yet. So please hit that subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, send some folks over here to join us. Thank you.
And if you would like to be on with Wayne and I, you can reach out to both of us, Wayne at paranormalworldproductions.com or myself, Tiffany at paranormalworldproductions.com. We have 3 spots open for May, and that is it until June. So if you want to come on the show and be our guest, we would love to have you. Just reach out to one of us.
Ask everybody, head over to paranormalworldproductions.com. That is our website. Show some love to all the other shows under the studio's umbrella. Got a lot going on over there. What just happened?
I don't know. Nothing happened to me. It just happened to you.
Okay. I got a green highlight from Bristol, and I was wondering if he did something. Been member for 5 months. PO Freak. Thank you, Bristol. That's awesome.
It's a jolly good show.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, head over to paranormalworldproductions.com. I get distracted so easy, guys. I'm sorry.
Squirrel.
Squirrel. We would appreciate it if you would head over there and check it out.
And if you have any questions, even though we don't have guests, we're gonna go through these missing person cases, and if you have questions concerning them, just again put them in all capital letters, and we will answer them to the best of our ability at the end of the show.
All right. One more thing. Well, maybe more than one.
Hey, Bristol wants to know if the ADA has contacted you yet.
No. Well, what's the ADA contacting me for? Oh. No, they have not.
That's an inside joke for you Discord users.
Yeah, I'm gonna let, after I tell you about this, the membership, I'm gonna let Tiffany talk about the new Discord that we have to offer our members only. But to have that ability and to get the extra shows and be a part of our close-knit group family, you need to become a member. And the first 50 people that do that, we are doing a giveaway. A name will be drawn out of that lot, and one person will receive a Yeti lunchbox, an autographed copy of Naomi Finn's book, an autographed copy of Tiffany's book, The Unfamiliars, and your choice in color, a Paranormal Odyssey t-shirt. I was looking today, and we've had a couple fall off, and we're not counting the members that were gifted. You have to be a recurring member to be in on the drawing. So we have 30 of those, counting a couple that has fallen off. So 20 more. All we need is 20 more members, and we will do that giveaway live on the show and get your stuff out to you. So if y'all are tired of waiting like we are, spread the word, get some more folks to throw that $1.99 at us and get entered in the drawing. One of the perks that our members get is this new thing that we just started. Tiffany, tell them about it.
Well, you've all heard of Discord. Well, unless you live under a rock. My husband lived under a rock until I invited him to it the other day. So then we had to work together to get everything set up. But it's a learning process, and we are having the biggest blast while we're learning. Last night we were on video call with Bristol and Troy until almost midnight. The night before that, we were on the call with Wayne and Troy and Naoma, and Bristol was there in spirit typing his messages. But we played games last night. We have, the general chat, and then I made a couple extra threads today for, just, things for the show, Bigfoot in general. It's just a good way for us to be able to connect to you guys on a more personal level. And it's something that Wayne and I really want to be able to do. We enjoy you in the chat, but we want to get to know you and, be closer with you than just faces on a screen. So, and if you're a member, you can reach out to us, let one of us know how we can send you the link. And we want to have all of our members in the Discord. So reach out to us by email and send us that information, and we can get you in there. It's just really, it's just a good time.
Yeah, like Super Shayna says right here, I'm trying to pop her comment up. Why ain't it coming up? There. Sounds like a fun digital hangout. Super Shayna, I don't remember seeing you in there. You are a member, so you're welcome to come in there and hang out. Get on the video calls with us. You don't have to. Get in on the conversation. Email one of us. We will send you the link, your personal link, and you can jump on. You can do it right now. Email one of us right now if you want to, and we'll get it to you, while it's fresh on the line. We would love to have you. Like Tiffany said the other night, we had like 6 of us on a call, and you can choose to turn the camera either on or off. We all had ours on except for Ristel, which is having some technical difficulties. I have heard through the grapevine that those are fixed now, so you'll get to see Ristel's face as well. But yeah, I mean, if you don't want to chat over the phone or video, we chat like you're doing on here. It's a lot like Facebook Messenger, but on steroids.
It's cooler. And since it's just it is members only, so there is no outside drama coming in. It is just us. That's what I like about it.
Those 30 people that we told you that have already signed up, that's the max. That's all that can be in there right now is 30 people. And I mean, when we get to 50, there'll be 50 people in there. We get to 100, there'll be 100 people in there. But you get it.
Yeah,
it's just another little perk that we're offering. So if you have not signed up for the membership, please do so. $1.99 is not hurting anybody. Tiffany and I were talking, and we've had a couple people tell us, "Oh, I can't afford it." I'm like, "Can't afford $1.99, really?"
It's less than a 20-ounce bottle of Coke.
If you bought a Coke or just any kind of cola or any kind of soft drink this month, then you could have been in our group.
For a whole month.
Have you bought a cup of coffee? You could have been in our group for the entire month. It's not hard, guys, and it's not breaking. I don't want to say it's that hard because people have had issues signing up, but we are here to help you. We will walk you through it. We will hold your hand and walk you through it. We've helped many people get signed up. You can't do it from the app. You got to do it from the like the website. Yeah. Right beside the subscribe button, you will see a join button. Click that join. If your credit card information is already in there, you just click it. If not, type in your credit card number. It will charge you $1.99 a month. You never have to mess with it again. They'll never charge you any more than that. They charge you one time a month. I think it's like $2.11 is what comes out, and that's it. We also, like at the bottom, guys, and I hate to sound like we're begging y'all for money, but it is what makes the world go round, and we do have bills. Down at the bottom, our supers are open. Y'all have started doing the supers this month, and y'all came out swinging the first time, and it was awesome. Then it's kind of slacked off a little bit since then, but if that's something you can do to help us out, $1, $2, $10, $20, I'd love to see a $20 if somebody can. Do that. It helps us. Everything costs money. The system that we're using right now, StreamYard, is not free. They have a free service, but you don't get crap on it. Yeah, everything costs money. I mean, the website costs money. This costs money. The AI So the things that they use to do the thumbnails cost money, everything, and that comes out of our pocket for the most part. But we are starting to, with you guys' help with the membership and the supers, y'all are starting to help us to do that. So it is encouraged. So if anybody can help with those supers tonight, we would greatly appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, let's stop begging people.
I know we're gonna turn into the missing persons.
We're gonna go missing.
I don't know. They might not even come look for us.
I know it. All right, as we said tonight, guys, we're going to talk about a couple of missing person cases, and you guys seem to be really enjoying these. I've gotten a couple of emails. In fact, I might read one when we get done, like, toward the end of the show. I might share one that I got. I sent it to Tiffany. You guys really seem to be enjoying this stuff because it's interesting as hell. Like, I don't understand what's happening to these people. And
Yeah.
you got to think that it's connected. I do, anyway. I mean, there's got to be something. Like the first case we're going to talk about tonight happened in the late 1700s. It's been happening for that long. Gentlemen, I'm going to talk about, some of you may have heard of him. His name is Owen Parfitt. But he was a disabled gentleman in his 60s. I think it's his mid to late 60s. He could not walk. I don't know if he had access to a wheelchair, if there even were wheelchairs back then. I'm sure there were, but I don't think he had one. He lived with his elderly sister and someone else, and anytime he needed moved to do anything, they had to move him. It was a nice day. One day, he wanted to sit out on his porch. So he asked his sister to move him out there. She got him out, put him in his chair, sat him on the front porch, and a couple hours later, there's supposed to have been a storm moving in, so she went out there to get him. He was gone. He was not there. He was watching some of his farmhands work within shouting distance. These people were close. Certainly could see him. They absolutely could see him, and they absolutely, if he just yelled for them, could hear. They could hear him yelling for them. That was one of the things that made his sister comfortable. If something happened, someone was within earshot of him. But this dude disappeared, and he has not been seen. He couldn't walk. He didn't get up and walk away. If somebody came and took him off the porch, he would have screamed for help. Nobody heard a scream. I don't know. So what we're going to do, I'm going to play, I'm not going to play the video. I'm going to play, well, it's a video, but you're only going to hear the audio because lately when we play the videos, it's been getting a bit of an echo. So I've got it set up here. I'm going to push play. It's about a 8.5-minute video, but all you're going to hear is the audio. You guys let me know that y'all can hear it okay.
6th, 1768, Owen Parfitt sat on the porch in an old wicker chair to enjoy the fresh air outside of his sister's home. For about half an hour, Owen and his sister were chatting while she was busy inside, and during that time she was never more than 20 feet from him. She had no more reason to suspect that anything was amiss until she failed to get a reply to a question. She repeated the question, again with no reply. When she hurried to the door, she discovered to her amazement that the chair was empty, the blanket tossed aside, and her brother Owen was gone. Owen Parfitt, a man who couldn't walk and was just a few feet away from her, simply vanished into thin air. Today's mystery takes us to Shepton Mallet in Somerset, England, to investigate the disappearance of Owen Parfitt. From all accounts, Owen wasn't necessarily a kind man. Though, he could have just been rather abrasive given his past. His story begins in the late 1700s. At this time, he was living in Shepton Mallet, in southwest England. Before settling down there, he served some time in the military, stationed in Africa, and was reported to be quite the womanizer. Among the numerous stories he would retell to those around town, many of which were believed to be fabricated, he made mention of the numerous women he'd taken to bed. Not only this, but he described himself as an incredibly fearless soldier, talking of various battles he'd taken part in during his time serving in the military. Even before this, however, he spoke of his life of crime that included piracy. All these stories and experiences seemed to have caught up to him by the time he reached his 70s, though. It was in 1768 that he began staying with his sister, most definitely not by choice, but by necessity. Owen had become nearly totally paralyzed by this time and was unable to take care of himself. His sister, along with the help of a young woman named Susanna Snook, would aid Owen's sister in moving him from the bed to his chair, where he would then be taken to wherever he needed to be in the house. On days when the weather was nice and pleasant, they'd bring Owen outside to the porch and sit him in an old wicker chair to enjoy the fresh air. On June 6th of that year, the morning had been rather cool and windy, and Owen had been confined to the house. As the sun was shining very brightly, the two women wrapped Owen Parfitt in an old greatcoat and carried him in his armchair outside on the doorstep, so that he could sun himself for a while. A spot where he loved to sit. For half an hour or more, she chatted with him, and during that time she was never more than 20 feet from Owen. She had no more reason to suspect that anything was amiss until she failed to get a reply to a question. She repeated it, without result. She hurried to the door and discovered to her amazement that the chair was empty, the blanket tossed aside, and her brother was gone. Simply vanished without a trace. An old article states, the first alarm was raised by the sister, who was found by Susanna Snook, who had only quitted her a few minutes before, crying bitterly for the loss of her brother. The article goes on to state that word of Owen Parfitt's disappearance spread very quickly, due to being very popular and almost everyone knew of him. Neighbors and police made their way up and down countless roads connecting back to the Parfitt house, walked miles and miles through fields, and even dragged several nearby rivers, but nothing came from their efforts. Even if he'd somehow mustered up the strength to make it out of his chair, there was no way someone wouldn't have seen a man dragging himself across his yard. An 1877 article states, his cottage was on a turnpike road, surrounded by other cottages close at hand, and 100 yards from the streets of the town, and he must have passed along clothed only as he had been taken from his bed. So not only were there many neighbors near him, he was only just a stone's throw away from streets that many people would be commuting into town on. The search continued for 2 days. There was mention of very heavy rain and thunderstorms coming the night of Owen's vanishing, which many believed set in stone that he wasn't going to be found, and if he was, he most likely wouldn't be alive. The 5,000 people who lived in town slowly but surely stopped their efforts to find Owen, and his story was cast aside into the numerous other urban legends. Around 50 years later, in 1813, Thomas Strode was living in a house, not 150 yards from the cottage door Owen Parfitt disappeared from. As Strode was digging in his garden, his spade suddenly struck something hard, a human skull, which proved to be attached to an entire skeleton. A court case ensued to try and discover the identity of the body. Of course, this brought the strange disappearance of Owen to the forefront of the local consciousness. Many of the people that had known him were still alive in 1813, including the neighbor who had helped his sister place him outside the cottage that fateful day. The court concluded that the skeleton was not that of Owen Parfitt. Evidence suggested it was that of a young woman, once again, leaving many to question what really happened to Owen Parfitt. Over 250 years later, the mystery of what happened to Owen Parfitt remains unsolved. Several theories have been offered as to what actually happened to him, some being a simple explanation, some being extraordinary. Let's investigate the theories. Theory number 1. Owen was taken by the devil. Some believe he was taken by the devil himself. Taken to hell, where many believed he would end up. One of the people who peddled this theory the most was his own sister. She has been referenced as one of the first who suggested it, saying that all his bad deeds had finally caught up to him. In the 1877 article, it stated, the day had been fine up to the disappearance of Owen Parfitt, which was followed by a terrific storm of thunder and lightning and rain. He had been a wicked, perhaps a frightfully wicked man in his youth. Putting this and that together, there could be no doubt about the matter. the old soldier, slaver, and tailor had been carried off by the devil. Theory number 2. Owen was not really paralyzed. Another, less plausible theory is that Owen was simply tired of living in that house and up and left on his own. This theory insinuates that the paralysis was all an act and the man had decided it had gone on too long. If he had been faking it, his legs would still be incredibly weak after not being used for such a long amount of time. However, it's quite unlikely that a man in his 70s, with hardly any muscle left on his legs, could run off and hide before his sister, who was well-bodied, could find him. Also, the neighbors and those passing by would have surely seen Owen, a man known to be paralyzed and rude, stumbling across his yard. Theory number 3. Someone took him. The most logical explanation for Owen's disappearance is that someone took him. At some point in the day, when his sister and a neighbor were away, someone, most likely at least 2 people, came onto the porch and took him away for reasons unknown. This of course leads to the question of who could have done it. Some believe those stories he told about his days wreaking havoc may have had some kind of truth to them. It seemed as if Owen did a lot of people wrong, and perhaps some of those people lived nearby and were tired of hearing about it regularly. It's been reported that none of the neighbors' houses were searched, so it's not impossible that he was carried into a nearby house and held captive there until his death. Even so, how could someone have made it off with him so quietly? He could still speak, so surely if someone were trying to grab him, he would scream out for help. This mystery will most likely remain as one of history's most baffling unsolved disappearances. Hopefully one day, Owen's body will be discovered and this urban legend can be put to rest. If you would like to read more into this story, our references are linked in the description of the video. If you don't want to miss out on future unexplained mysteries, please consider subscribing so you don't miss it.
All right, there you go, guys. Oops, sorry about that. I do want to give the channel credit. That was Local Lore. So it seems like a pretty cool channel. I'll go and check that out. Again, that's Local Lore, where I got that. What do y'all think about that?
That's very.
What, Tiffany?
I was going to say that's very strange.
Yeah, I think so. I was thinking, I thought it was kind of silly to think though, maybe he was lying about being paralyzed all that time, because I mean, let's be honest, everybody said he was pretty much an asshole. So maybe he was just messing with people and acting like he was paralyzed to get special treatment. I don't know. But the robot in the video, as he stated, his legs should have been pretty weak if all that time he hadn't been using them. But I mean, we don't know what the dude was doing at night when he was asleep. He could be up running around in circles in his bedroom, keeping his legs strong. I don't know.
He could have been doing squats all night. I don't want to move my legs after I've done squats either.
Yeah, it's like Troy just says right here. Can't imagine 2 people carrying him off and not leaving tracks.
Right.
Exactly. What could have happened? I don't know.
And it is. It's just like somebody just snatched him out of reality and poof, he was gone.
I mean, it kind of blows my portal theory out of the water, because the portal would have had to appear directly on him, because he wasn't going to walk through it.
Nope. Or, okay, this is a big ask. I know. Or something came out of said portal and took him in.
Is that a big ask, Tiffany?
I mean, well, maybe to the people watching now, people who will watch later, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Not 100%.
Then there's people out there that think the devil himself come on up and snatched him by the ankle and pulled him down.
He said, "I'm through with you."
Yeah. Dude was a peckerhead.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
this was the late 1700s, guys. So
Yeah.
this stuff has been going on forever. I mean, you can go back even further. And Brian and I talked about this on an episode that I don't even think we ever released, a podcast that we were doing before. We were talking about the lost colony of Roanoke. What happened to how all those people?
Yes. Yeah.
That was a whole damn colony.
Yeah. And I run across that. And then I was looking today, or yesterday, one of these days, and there were 43. No, they found them.
Look at Mr. Tiffany.
He said none of us are made of money, but we all love the show, and you guys, we love you too. You put so much work into this, and it needs to be recognized. Y'all are gonna make me cry.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. What was I talking about? Oh, there were 40. There were 43 people that went missing, I think in Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't really dig too deep into that because they were found, granted, they were all dead in a very tragic manner. But I mean, at the beginning, nobody knew where 43 people went to. That's a whole lot of people to just make disappear.
Yeah, and something else, before Brian and I started that Bigfoot podcast, we were throwing ideas around about a new podcast that he and I could do together.
Mhm.
And we, for just a brief second, thought about getting away from Bigfoot and doing like strange occurrences, and including Bigfoot every once in a while because Bigfoot's strange.
Right.
So that's why we actually recorded the episode of the Roanoke, the Lost Colony, and that's sitting out there somewhere. I'm sure you still got it. It's never been released. But I thought it was a pretty damn good episode. But in preparation of that, excuse me, in preparation of that episode, I looked into other strange missing people from a long time ago, like groups of people. And there was, and I should be more prepared. I would have been if I knew I was going to bring this up. But there was an army troop. I don't think it was Americans. It was a long, long, long time ago. Probably it was before America. It was like maybe the days of Troy. But these people were marching, and it was like 200 or 300 people that were all marching up this hill. And somebody might have heard of this. I could be way off, but correct me if I am. They were marching up this hill, and it was said that a fog just all of a sudden rolled in, and these soldiers marched into the fog, and then when the fog cleared, they were gone. They were never seen again.
That is so wild. Like,
if anybody out there has heard anything about that, please correct us, let me know, point me in the right direction. If we have time, we'll look it up and talk about it. But
yeah, that is wild. Yeah. It is, and it just makes you think about. I was looking at lunch today. Shame on me, I know. I was eating lunch with Carrie and Zach, and I was looking, and I think it was as of 2021, there were like, and there's probably more if it were based from 3 years ago, 550,000 people in the U.S. that are missing. In the UK, there's 275,000 people. And that was in 2021. Where do they go? Where are they all going?
Now, a lot of those are going to be like your common murder, like somebody kidnapped and murdered them and hid their body somewhere.
Yeah, I didn't investigate any of them. It was just a broad search. This many people are missing, but you don't. I don't want to say you don't think about other places with missing people, but when you're grounded here, this is where you focus on. So to see the mass amount of people that are missing other places too, the plot thickens.
Yeah. I love this shit.
I know. It's like Alex said, there's a lot of things in this world that, I mean, we just don't understand it. And I don't know if we'll ever understand it.
Shout out to my boy Alex, real quick. He has been working on my bar and has been sending me pictures of it. And that thing is sweet, guys. He's just about got the slab done. It's cool. What the fuck did you just do? God, pardon my language.
Scott, my wife passed last June after 40 years married. I don't know any of you all personally, but to me, you are family, and it gives me something to look forward to. God bless you all.
Scott, man, you're gonna make me cry, dude.
I know. I'm like trying to suck it down. I'm trying to suck it down. That's so sweet.
It is very sweet. Thank you so much, Scott. And condolences on your wife. I'm so very sorry to hear that. 40 years with someone. My parents were married for 37 before God called my mom home. So, and I saw firsthand what that did to my dad. And I can't. So, I mean, I don't know what you're going through, but I saw what my dad went through. And I can tell you that my dad's happy again. I don't know what your plans are, but my dad has remarried. He's been with his new wife for, I think they've been married for 3 years now. My mom passed away 10 years ago, and he's been remarried for 3 or 4 years. So it gets better, buddy. But your gift is awesome. Thank you so very much for that. And let me just explain something to you guys real quick. The way YouTube works is they don't send you any money until you hit $100. So it might take you 3 months to get to that $100 mark, but it just keeps adding up until you hit 300, and then anything over 300, they send you one payment a month. You guys have given us, I think, almost $100 tonight.
No, I'm floored. I'm just so.
Y'all just made sure that we will get another payment next month, and that's so awesome. Thank you guys very, very much.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm at a loss now. What were we talking about?
No, I don't even know. Like, I saw that 50 come up, and I think I inhaled all the oxygen out of my office.
I dropped the F-bomb, not even expecting it.
Your potty mouth will virtually smack you. Wow. We absolutely will. We love all you guys like family.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hell, we got another case to talk about.
We do. This is, and actually, Bristol brought it up, and Naoma had said that she's done a short on it. So if I am like missing some information, please feel free to correct me. So, Michael Edwin Huron, I think is how you pronounce his last name. I've listened to several YouTubers and they say his name differently. So we're just going with Huron. It's Hearon. He was 51 years old at the time of his disappearance, August 23rd of 2008. He was last seen at 11 a.m. Okay. Prior to that, he had reached out to one of his sons. Well, actually, okay. I get excited and I go ahead of myself. So he has two properties. He has a condo in, I forgot the name, Maryville? Yes, Maryville, Tennessee. So he called his two sons that morning on August 23rd of 2008 and told them he was going from his condo to his farm. He has 100 acres. He has 40 head of cattle in Happy Valley in Tallahassee, Tennessee. So he goes there and he mows. Now, this instant that he was going over there, he was actually going over there to take care of the grass for his neighbors who had been out of town for a while. So he called his son and said, hey, can I borrow the mower? Left his condo in Maryville, Tennessee, and drove to his son's to pick up the mower. His son said, well, I'm on my way back there. I can, help you load it, or I'll just pass you as we're going. So he didn't make it there in time to help his dad load the mower to the truck, but he did say that he passed him, and he said that it absolutely sucked because he didn't know that would be the last time he would see his dad. And so that kind of got me all up in my feels. So there isn't any cell phone service, which is why he always lets his sons know that he's going to Happy Valley, so they don't have to worry about him. And generally, if this is done on a weekend basis, he goes, and then they have a company, and he's their boss and they work for him, blah, blah, blah. So Huron went to his sons, picked up the mower, and loaded it onto his trailer. At 11 a.m., neighbors saw Huron leave his home on Bell Branch Road in Tallahassee, driving his green four-wheel drive, his ATV. He waved to them as he left, and that was the last time he was ever seen again. Friends went to Huron's farm. Okay, like his mom freaked out. Okay, moms know. Okay, he had a really close relationship with his mom. He had a really close relationship with his sons. He had been divorced from his wife for 6 or 7 years, but his mom had reached out to his sons and said, hey, I haven't heard from your dad. This is on the 24th. I haven't heard from your dad. I think something's wrong. And they were like, no, he's probably just out tending to the cattle or whatever. I'm sure he's fine. So then the 25th rolls around. She reaches out to them and she said, I still haven't heard anything from your dad. And so then they start to question things, because it is unlike him to not, try to reach out to his mom when he gets back to a landline, or to talk to his sons, because, they do work together. They build homes together. So the interview I listened to today, his son said that it was really weird, and he knew that there was something wrong because they had to go out there. They don't normally have to go out there. So his mom and dad actually went to his house on August 24th, but didn't knock on the door or go inside. The day after that, they noticed his truck was still parked at the end of the road and went looking for him on the property, but couldn't find him. And they noticed that the mower had not been taken off the truck and the grass had not been mowed. So he got there Saturday the 23rd. On Sunday the 24th, everything was still in place. Nothing's been touched. The only thing that was missing was his ATV and, of course, him. His sons went and checked his Maryville condo and found his, he had, I think it was a Mercedes or BMW, and he had a Harley. So those were there in the garage. Nothing was out of place. His house was still all in one, it wasn't disheveled. So his keys, his cellular phone, his money clip, his credit cards, his driver's license, his cash, and his gun were inside his truck in Tallahassee, and the only thing missing was he and his ATV. So once they get there and they realize that he is nowhere to be found, and also there was mention of the way he parked the truck. He almost parked it like he was going to go maybe looking. The way I see it is he might have been going to look at this neighbor's grass or whatever. That's why he took the ATV first. So they realized, he wasn't there. So then they notified the police of his disappearance. On August 26th, the missing ATV was found abandoned and undamaged about a mile from his home. And why is it that these people go missing and they are so close to their home and they're just gone? They're just gone. So it was undamaged. It was parked in high, I don't know anything about ATV, so if you could enlighten me. It was parked in high gear on a steep hill in a location that he normally didn't visit. The ignition switch was left on, which is uncharacteristic of him. And there was no sign of him at the scene. There's nothing about him that would have indicated that he was depressed, that he wanted to take his life. He didn't have any known enemies, and it was uncharacteristic of him to leave without warning. It is very bizarre. He just up and disappeared. There wasn't,
That is a very, very bizarre case. That's a good word to describe this case.
Yeah, because there weren't any tracks near the ATV. It did start raining. Because they brought in the search and rescue dogs, and they had a hard time picking up on his scent. And then it started raining and raining and raining. So that just wiped it out. They brought in cadaver dogs to see, if he did pass away, they could find him. The cadaver dogs never picked up on any indication of him anywhere, being alive or dead. He's gone. And that was in 2000.
Let me throw this at you people. Feral people. Let me throw this at you people. Feral people.
See, I thought about
think about that. Shout out to our boy Brian from Black Mass Paranormal, who we had on maybe a couple months ago. It was a great interview. All this Michael Heron case happened in my backyard. Yeah, it's just up the road from me in the Smoky Mountains. That's where Brian from Black Mass Paranormal lives. And he has a very successful YouTube channel. He's, I think, doing something with the Discovery Channel or something coming up. But he's done a lot of stuff on the feral people. He goes out and investigates this area, and he thinks that feral people are the reason, at least in the Smoky Mountains, that some of these people are going missing. And Brian and I have talked. I hadn't talked to him in a while. This is reminded me, so I'm going to reach out to him either tonight or tomorrow, just, to, get an update. But he and I are supposed to go on a camping trip up there in the area where Michael Heron went missing. I don't know if we should or not. But we're going to, and we're going to go up there and check it out, spend a couple nights up there, because y'all know me, I'm an avid camper. I love camping. That's my release. That's how, when I want to get away, I go camping. I love it. So we're going to get together and go up there and camp in that area. But if y'all want more information on the Michael Heron case, Black Mass Paranormal is a good place to go and get it. Brian's a really good guy. But yeah, I mean, just his AV was found, his ATV was found. I don't know what it means. Did you say it was in 4 high?
It was in high gear. And this is what Blue said. Left in high gear could indicate it was traveling at a fast pace, perhaps speeding towards something or speeding away from something. So, and this is what I did, because I love to research. So that's just what I did. So I was like, okay, so there wasn't any indication that he was killed on scene. There wasn't any blood. There wasn't any fabric. There wasn't anything. So I'm like, okay, well, hypothetically speaking, what wild animals live in those mountains that would, just be able to pick somebody up and carry them? Because, cougars, okay, even though they're supposed to not exist in the back of your house, they do. So I was like, and they always attack you from the back. So I was like, well, maybe he was being chased by one of those or a bear and was trying to get the hell out of Dodge as quick as possible. And then it got him. So then I was like, okay, well, if a cougar, which generally attacks you from the back and they grab you by the neck, I mean, if he punctured his carotid, that's a lot of blood. So then I was thinking a bear, but a bear's going to attack you one scene too. They're not going to carry you off. Because I was like, well, maybe the cougar got him and then just carried him to the top of the tree, because sometimes they do that. But I would think a puncture would have to have taken place. But it was just nothing. He was just gone. So bringing in the feral people.
Yeah.
If
I think
they
we
are,
can rule out animal attack.
yeah, because there's no blood, there's no ripped clothing, there's no bones, there's no nothing. Now they did find clothing. However, it turned out to not be his. And they did find bones, and then they tested those, and they weren't his either. They actually belonged to a cow. So there's nothing. He just disappeared. So if we take the theory of the feral people, okay, so he's somewhere where he's not even generally at, which means something took him from his normal path to a different one and completely threw him off from what it is he even does every weekend. And he was an avid outdoorsman. He hiked, he fished, he hunted, he worked for the forestry service trimming trees. Like, he goes caving. I mean, he knows this area. And it's just like, no, he's gone. And nobody has any indication as to why. And then I started thinking, I was like, okay, well, since we're down this rabbit trail, we're going to go down a little further. And I just completely lost my train of thought there for a second. Please talk, because my brain just said, you're not saying that, because I'm going to make you forget.
Had a brain part, huh?
It did. It just completely, it was here and I got excited and now it's gone. So it doesn't matter. But yeah, he's just completely.
Scott Trent just asked, are there any accounts of feral people in the Smoky Mountains? And yeah, I mean, there are. I don't know how like well documented or if there are any like police reports or anything like that, but there are stories of feral people. And I heard from somewhere, I don't know how accurate it is, but there was this family that a couple of them were supposed to go away to World War II or something, but they were like dodging the draft and went up into the mountains to hide and just started reproducing. And I mean, I don't know how true that is. I don't know where it come from, but that could possibly be it. But yeah, I mean, it's widely speculated that there are feral people. You got the Dennis Martin case, another huge missing persons case that I am obsessed with.
Yeah.
The little boy, Dennis Martin, 6 years old, went missing in Cades Cove. I think feral people had something to do with that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean nothing, and it's like the people that I remembered. Let me share my thought before I forget again. I started thinking about the Viscali case where he was missing for 30 years. Okay, so my math sucks, you guys. I'm just gonna be honest with you. 2008. So it's been, and I was like, well, maybe in 30 years he'll come back. Could you imagine that reunion? Because he was so excited to be a granddad. His sons had just gotten married. And I read one of the gifts that he gave his daughter-in-law was he had already bought them a pregnancy test. I mean, he was so excited to be a granddad. So, I mean, there was no financial stress. There was no home life stress. It was just, I mean, this guy was living the life and now all of a sudden he's gone.
Yeah. I've been thinking the exact same thing. And I was telling you guys about the email that we got earlier, and I'm about to share that. But my response to this lady was, it makes me wonder, after talking about the Viscali case, he was gone for 30 years. All these people that went missing under strange circumstances where their bodies have not yet been found. What are we going to do when 25 years later, when they just show back up with no memory? How many of people are out there that are missing that are going to show back up? They could possibly show back up like him.
Yeah. And oh my gosh. I mean, the research that I was doing, because I was just like, I was on Reddit and I was on, I was like everywhere. And you wouldn't believe all the missing cases that came out of the Grand Canyon and the similarities of said persons that are missing from the Grand Canyon that are the exact same height and the exact same weight, the exact same build. They're just different people. Like,
I'm going to go ahead and share this email before I forget. Joyce M. emailed me yesterday or the day before. Said, Wayne, I found this particular show very interesting and thought-provoking. My feeling is that you all are looking at this episode in the terms of Earth years. Since we don't know enough about other planes of existence, portals, and other dimensions, we are unable to say how time passes in these other realms. This opens up many other questions to ponder. How much awareness does the subject have? If the person doesn't age, then his clothes wouldn't either. Where do these people go while they're in where do these people go while they are in this possible suspended animation? Love this type of show. Would be interesting to discuss it in a roundtable type format, perhaps. Your fan, Joyce M. And I responded to Joyce, and that was a great email. But just like I said to you guys, it makes you wonder how many people are out there that are going to show back up, if any. I mean, even if one did, how amazing would that be?
Yeah. And we've already touched on what, 3? You have Viscali, and then the guy that's been gone for 25 years and showed up with cigarettes and bread like nothing happened. He was just stuck in this plane of existence, and maybe that's why Viscali. Yeah.
The guy that was gone for 18 months, right? That went on to become a doctor.
Yeah.
It's amazing, man. Awesome. Awesome stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it makes you wonder. Absolutely.
All right. Did we have any questions?
I think kind of integrated them into the conversation. Naomi. So.
Go ahead.
By the way, has anyone heard of, I love that word, but I know it's not pronounced that way.
Or
Verde Village disappeared and left a message on the school's chalkboard saying there is no salvation, and this happened in Brazil.
No, but my God, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look at that. Naoma, text me, email me, whatever, any link you have to that, because I want to look into it. And I think you just brought up a future episode of Paranormal Odyssey.
Yeah, that would be awesome to dig into.
Maybe we could have you come on and we'll do a deep dive into it.
Yes.
Yes, tell me what you got on that, please, because that's my jam. That's kind of shit that gets me going.
Yep, it's exciting. She said there are holes in that story, but I'll send you the link.
Okay.
We can try and fill in the holes.
Let's go over this real quick before we get out of here and thank everyone again. Bristol, you gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so very much, buddy. Thank you.
Nope, that was Susie.
This a few times. What?
Susie.
Okay, yeah. Bristol's been a fan or a paid member for 5 months. I'm sorry. Thank you. Susie gifted. Maybe Susie gifted 5.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. That is very appreciated. So that's another $10 right there that you helped us with. That's awesome. Thank you. Teresa, you gifted us another $10. Thank you, ma'am. You are amazing. We love you. Thank you for everything. Troy was not going to be outdone. It's not a competition, so no. Don't look at it that way. But Troy helped us with another $20. Thank you so very much. So if you are doing the math, that's 40. Right there that y'all helped us with tonight. And then, not to be outdone, Mr. Tiffany matched it with another $20. So that is 60 that you guys helped us with. And I would have been over the moon with that. But what happens? Mr. Scott comes in and takes the cake, and you are awesome, sir. Thank you so very much. Come in with another 50. So I didn't go to MIT, but my math tells me 60 plus 50 is 110.
Yes.
Do you guys made sure that we are going to get another payment next month?
And thank you. That's so exciting.
And Tiffany and I split this 50-50. We're in it together, Everything we make on YouTube is 50-50. We pay the bills together. And yeah, so whatever you do helps us both. And again, you guys, oh God, y'all are amazing. Y'all made my night. I was not expecting
I
anything
know.
like this.
It's amazing. And Mr. Blue got his tickets to the Gallenberg conference this week. And he
Nice.
talked to Miss Warren and her husband. They're coming again as well.
Who?
Nance Warren and her
Okay.
husband.
Yeah,
So
we get to meet them as well. Very cool.
it's exciting. So many great things.
All right. Yeah, I love these kind of shows, guys. I was a little bummed about what happened earlier today, but kind of glad it happened. This was a
Me
very
too.
very fun episode. I like doing these, and something tells me we're gonna be doing some more of them. So, with that in mind, everybody, if y'all know of any interesting, weird, bizarre missing person, missing villages, missing whoever cases, please send them our way, and we will look into them and do a show on them, just like Miss Naoma did tonight.
Mhm. And Nance is Buckeye Bigfoot.
Buckeye Bigfoot, does she do a YouTube channel?
I'm pretty sure. That sounds familiar. Yes.
If it's the same one, she got a shit ton of subscribers.
Yeah, Shania says, I love Miss Nance, such a great storyteller.
Very cool.
And Nance said, yes. So,
Awesome.
Yep. And again, to our members in here, if you will email me or Wayne your information, never put that online. I don't have to tell you you're grown, but I have kids, so send us your info and we can send you that Discord link and it'll be stellar. And we'll have so much fun.
Yeah, please do that, guys. I mean, even if you don't have a whole lot of time to talk, I don't have a whole lot of time to talk, but I jump on there when I can. I want you to have access to it. So please just take a second and email one of us, and we will get you the link so that you can get signed up. You just download the Discord app, and we'll send you the invite link, and you'll automatically be in there. It's easy once you get in.
Yep.
All right, just go over before we get out of here the poll question. Should outside services be allowed to assist law enforcement in searching for missing persons? This is the first time this has ever happened, but we had 19 people to vote, and every single one of you agreed with yes. And I agree, and I can see why law enforcement might not want them to, because they don't want to mess up what they already have been working on. But with missing people, time is of the essence. You should take every bit of help that you can get. So I agree with you guys.
Absolutely.
You got anything before we get out of here, ma'am?
I do not. Surprisingly, I have nothing else to say except thank you. Thank you again so much.
Yes. Well, say your goodbyes then.
Goodbye, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday. Until then, come hang out with us on Discord.
Yes, please do. Please do. We might try to squeeze in a members only between now and Tuesday because I hate going so long without y'all's beautiful faces.
I know,
so
just like
we might be able to get one squeezed in somewhere. But until then, guys, y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We'll see you later.